Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon solo video. Today we'll be using the totally not a she identity in disguise, Heishou You Sinclair. Being the current only burn and rupture hybrid identity in the game, he's honestly quite simple as he doesn't particularly focus on either of those status effects to any notable extent. Instead, he serves more as a pure raw DPS unit, as while he can support both status effects fine, most of his strength comes from him being below 50% health. Being at low health though is not necessarily that important for him, as most of his conditionals, with the exceptions of the bonus damage he does when at low health, have an alternative way to activate them whenever he has his unique status effect of bloodflame. He gains this the same way any of the other Heishou gain their unique status effects, by either using his defense skill or his skill 3, and as previously stated, the main reason for him to gain it is to activate his low health conditionals without actually being at low health. He does technically have another way to gain bloodflame, that being if he ever has burn on himself at any point after his passive has been activated, but unless he's fighting an enemy that is capable of inflicting burn themselves, the only way for him to inflict self-burn is if he loses a clash with either his skill 3 or his defense skill. This only matters for his skill 3 realistically because it only gives a single blood flame, which will fall off at the end of the turn otherwise. But the real reason you'd even want him to gain self-burn in the first place is for the extra 10% wrath or gluttony damage that his passive also provides. Because in most fights gaining it is dependent on losing a clash though, it's hardly something you should be actively trying to gain and more of a minor compensation to a random unlucky turn. Anyway, to start the run off, we take these starter buffs and find these ego gifts on the first floor of Drugs of the Manor before making it to the boss against the Dead Rabbits boss. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon solo video. Today we're using, obviously, You Sinclair, someone who I've, frankly, spent way too long just kind of avoiding his solo run for absolutely no reason, to be honest. I mean, I did kind of, like, do a solo run, like, the day Extremo came out with this identity, but for some reason I never recorded it, and I don't know why. There was no real reason for me not to. But anyway, this identity in particular is fairly unique because he's the only identity that is capable of taking advantage of this ego gift, the Bloodflame Sword. Well, that's technically not true because Ardor Blossom Faust can also take advantage of it by the self-burn application, but honestly that's the secondary effect of this, the gain burn at the first turn start of the encounter, right? For Sinclair, it's nice because it activates his passive, which allows him to guarantee that he gets this wrath damage up and gluttony damage up on turn 2. But basically it only really works for turn 2, which is not really that good, if I'm being completely honest. It's definitely a better ego gift for Ardor Blossom Faust, I'd say, because it allows her to speed up her transition like really fast. But anyways, the secondary effect of this, or I should say the primary effect of that ego gift, is the fact that it gives Sinclair an effect very similar to the resolution ego gift for the she identities. And what that does is it caps his health at 50% and makes it so that he takes less damage, but also at the same time he heals substantially less. And yeah, we're dead here. And it's like, you know, this ego gift, right? When it's given to the she, it's actually really good, and that's in large part because resolution actually has a stronger damage reduction effect. It reduces it by like 75%, whereas for Sinclair it's only 50. So that's one reason why it's stronger for Sinclair, but also, or not Sinclair, for the she. But another reason that just frankly makes it so much worse when given to Sinclair as opposed to the she is because of his Staggerth bar. Like, one of the main reasons why resolution is so good is because the Shi's stagger threshold is always above 50% health. So when you have resolution, it just completely removes their ability to get staggered. But as you can see, the reason why we lost the first fight is because Sinclair does not have that same benefit. His stagger threshold is particularly low. So it's like, it is a good ego gift, don't get me wrong, but it's honestly not that good, if I'm being completely honest. And there is an argument to be made to just not take it at all. We head into Hell's Chicken for the next floor, where we find the manor-shaped music box, both burn and rupture chickens, Thunder Branch, Coffee and Cranes, Nebulizer, Moon Clarid, Devil's Share, Ornamental Horseshoe, and the Unmailed Letter, before making it to the boss against Papa Bongi. You know, one of the biggest benefits of the Bloodflame Sword Ego Gift is actually the fact that You Sinclair has a couple of effects in his kit that benefit him from being below 50% health, right? There's not a lot, and honestly, most of them can also be activated if he has Bloodflame. So it's kind of redundant. So yeah, again, it's like using that ego gift, you're probably better off just not taking it at all. The health reduction is definitely not really worth it, especially if you're trying to solo. So I'm probably not going to get rid of it just because, you know, it's unique, but just keep in mind that this run would probably be 10 times easier if I didn't have it. We head into Hatred and Despair for the next floor, where we find the Little and To Be Naughty plushie, Fragment of Desire, the Knight's Blessing, Sundered Memory, and the Broken Greatsword, before making it to the boss against the Knight of Despair. So the Knight of Despair, obviously not that hard of a fight if you're particularly tanky, and, you know, even though our stagger bar is really high, it's like, it's not that bad. We're tanky enough right now that it doesn't really make a difference. And, you know, Grey Coats, having that, plus an AoE attack, pretty easy to stay at full health. I mean, look at this, we've already got her down to half health. It's pretty easy if you're really strong. I wouldn't be surprised if we can kill her before we take out all of the swords. I mean, Rupture, Burn, and just really high damage on our own. Hey, look at that, we already broke the shield. There's a good chance we'll be able to beat this fight without the Queen's help. I mean, she's still helping a little bit. But there's a chance she won't get the finishing blow, which is definitely a little unfortunate. Yeah, I'd say it's almost guaranteed we kill her. She's already at 700 health, like... I mean, depending on how much damage this skill does, we might be able to stall enough to let the queen get the finishing blow. Because it's like the big thing is, I don't want to just tank damage from her, right? Also, this might kill her. We'll see. Yeah, I think that kills her. Rip. I'm sorry, Queenie. Sinclair's too strong. We head into Refraction Railway Line 2 for the next floor, where we find Special Contract, Pendant of Nostalgia, Clear Mirror Calm Water, and the Bloody Gadget, before making it to the boss against the Sign of Roses. Alright. This fight is going to be a little awkward, I think. And it's because a large part of it is the fact that we just do a lot of damage. We do a little too much damage and we don't have health, and I'm pretty sure the Wrath Rose bypasses all of our damage reduction effects with this passive right here. So, yeah. We don't really have any revives. So there's a very good chance that we just die to this thing. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but there's a good chance of it. We'll see. Hopefully the defense skill does the least amount of damage. That's the only thing I can hope. Or the rupture damage kills it. Okay, that works. Yeah, that was actually fairly lucky. Like, one of the main ways to bypass the Wrath Rose's reflect damage is to kill it with a status effect. That's something that's pretty difficult to do when you have, you know, 100% bonus damage, but fortunately it seems like we were capable of doing it. And yeah, makes it a very easy fight as a result. We head into the Pilgrimage of Compassion for the next floor, where we find Bridal, Metronome, Thrill, Finifugality, Cigarette Holder, Arrested Hymn, Four-Leaf Clover, Elterfly's Dream, Midwinter Nightmare, Resolution, and the Charge-type Gloves before making it to the boss. This fight shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. I mean, it's a fairly simple fight to begin with. I mean, as long as you just don't die to these guys, it's kind of fine. Honestly, though, we can kind of just ignore them because they just don't do any damage. And the nervous impairment status effect is also kind of negligible. Like, as long as it doesn't get to max 30 stacks, it does literally nothing, so. Most of the mechanics in the whole Arc Knights thing is just, you can ignore like 90% of them and be perfectly fine. I'm fairly certain this boss also has a damage threshold at like 50% where it just cancels it, so, you know. Yeah, as you can see. You just completely ignore its minions, and it's fine. I'm sure it's harder to do it outside of the mirror dungeon, but I've never fought it outside of the mirror dungeon, so at least not yet. And as of now, I find it to be pretty simple, so. Yep, very easy fight. We head into the evil defining for the next floor, where we find the metal construct, Bell of Truth, Standard Duty Battery, Skeletal Crumbs, Phantom Pain, Glimpse of Flames, Fiery Down, Decamillennial Stew Pot, Pinpoint Logic Circuit, Polarization, Night Vision Goggles, Ardent Flower, Charred Disc, and finally Lunar Memory before making it to the boss against Ahab. Alright, and now we have the easiest fight in the entire mirror dungeon. Very cool. I mean, it's kind of like fine that we get this fight because the other fight we're going to be doing later in extreme mode anyway, so, you know, less duplicates and all that. But even still, this fight is ridiculously easy in the mirror dungeon. I just really want a new Ahab fight. Like, can she appear in Kanto 9, please? She probably won't, but man, I really. She deserves better than this fight, that's all I'm saying. At least she's got the Pekka trio fight too, you know, but I feel like this one is way more common for whatever reason. We head into LCB regular checkup for the next floor, where we find the reignition plug, spiked combat boots, twigs, combustion gloves, enhancer Mark IV, embers, broken compass, red stain gossypium, guiding gas lamp, and the decamillennial hearth flame before making it to the boss against Hohenheim. You know, funnily enough, this floor is actually genuinely one of the best floors for this identity in particular, and it's because it has a lot of ego gifts, like floor-specific ego gifts that benefit both Rupture and Burn. And, you know, with Sinclair being the only Rupture or Burn identity in the game currently, obviously he's going to benefit very, very heavily from it. It may seem a little counterintuitive with the whole... Yeah, that. But frankly speaking, right, Hohenheim's reflect damage doesn't really matter for this identity. And it's because of Hohenheim's greatest counter, that being the Ego Gift Greycoat. Simply speaking, any level of extra healing that you have just instantly counters Hohenheim's entire gimmick. So, and you know, with Grey Coat being literally one of the best healing ego gifts in the game, is if you can use it, which we can because our skill 3 has attack weight. Yeah, Hohenheim's pretty easy because his gimmick does nothing, and he has nothing except his gimmick. So, yeah, very easy floor that is incredibly good because it has a lot of beneficial ego gifts for us. We head into Refraction Railway Line 3 for the next floor, where we find Angel's Cut, Portable Battery Socket, UPS System, Contempt of the Gaze of Contempt, Dust to Dust, Faith, Imposed Weight, Downpour, and Artistic Sense, before making it to the boss. Here we are, Line 3. As we all are probably very heavily aware at this point, this is one of the required floors for going deep into extreme mode, because it has the Unhatched Embers ego gift, which gives you the capabilities to revive once per fight. Even with a 50% damage reduction, it's like it's still necessary. You know, one of the things that's kind of interesting about this identity is the fact that in the Mirror Dungeon specifically, because it's both Burn and Rupture, he can take advantage of both Glimpse of Flames and Thrill, which means at max power, that's about 4,000 extra damage he gets for free from those, which is honestly kind of crazy. But yeah, this fight's not going to be any difficult, I'm going to be honest. Especially with an AoE attack, like, if you're not struggling on the first turn, you're never going to struggle. That's basically how all solo runs end up. I mean, look at that. He killed 5 enemies with 3 attacks. He's incredibly powerful. The only bad thing about him, and this is more from a meta perspective than anything particularly wrong with this identity in itself, is the fact that he has multiple 4-coin skills. Like, the lowest amount of coins he has is 3 with this skill 1. And that's a problem in the Mirror Dungeon, because if you have any more than like 3 coins, maintaining a poise stack becomes almost impossible when you get all of your skill slots. Again, it's definitely more of a meta problem because, you know, he's still, even without poise, he's still powerful enough on his own. But that's just how it be in the Mirror Dungeon. If you have 4 or more coins, maintaining a poise stack becomes difficult. We head into Time Killing Time for the next floor, where we find the Unhatched Embers, Piece of a Relationship, an extra skill 3, and the emergency investigator badge before making it to the boss against the Time Ripper.
쟤네 고기라도 먹은 것처럼 기운이 솟잖아.
You know, the worst part about extreme mode is the fact that because it's so difficult and requires such precise, like, strategy, I guess is the best way to describe it. It makes it so that you can kind of easily, very, very easily just get completely screwed over by RNG. And it's like the reason I'm even mentioning this is because that literally just almost happened right now. Because the game refused to give me the emergency investigator badge, one of the required ego gifts to actually beat extreme mode because of its revival capabilities.
하지만 파괴법 또한 있겠죠. 허나 그를 깨우치지 못하면 풍전등화와 다리가 없겠지.
It took me like over 10 refreshes in the super shop to even see it pop up. And by that point, you know, obviously I ran out of cost, and it's just like, if it didn't show up, well, there's a good chance the run would end early. I mean, even if I didn't get it, I still would have kept going as long as I could, but you need the 2 revives to be able to beat the whole thing effectively. Anyway, the Time Ripper's dead. We head into Refraction Railway, line 1 for the next floor, where we find the etched clock hands, melted eyeball, Bane of Stifled Rage, broken revolver, snake slough, and patrolling flashlight before making it to the boss.
이건 직원들에게 유리한 상황 같아요. 이 상황을 기술을 제압하는 데 이용할
Alright.
수 있을지도.
Final floor before extreme mode. Line 1. Less required than
敵に対して大きな打撃を
some of the rest because it's basically, you basically only take this one for an extra 100% bonus damage,
時に使おうぼや。
which isn't necessary. It just helps speed up the fight a lot. It does have a bit of offense level too with the snake slough ego gift, but you're really coming here for the 100% bonus damage.
이 기세로 계속 나아가 보자. 이 모든 상황에 제 탓이라고는 말씀하시지 않았으면 좋겠어요, 관리자님. 그러면 안 돼요.
It's really not that difficult, especially when you're trying to go to extreme mode, because if you've set it up properly, it's like you're so overpowered at this point that literally nothing outside of extreme mode can touch you.
ブイテキス、このまま進めましょう。味方が優勢です。今こそ勝機をつかむ時です。 대상이 특수한 공격을 하려나 봐.
I'm fairly certain we can just straight up kill my form empties, like, without targeting down anything other than it. Yeah, definitely, with a 3,000 damage attack.
방금 어떻게 하신 거죠?
Not a difficult fight. But that's okay, we'll be seeing it again later.
와, 엄청난 공격이었어. 기념할 만한 걸.
대성공이야. 가른 신나. 노력될 제 계획이 큰 피해를 준 것 같아. 기우팀의 직원다운 완벽한 공격이었어. 승리기 딱콩 한 방 먹였어. 자, 악당 퇴치 성공! 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into Impenetrable Path for the next floor, where we take these adversities and find False Halo, Melted Spring, and the Cloud Pattern Gourd Bottle before making it to the boss.
적 개체에게 이상 현상이 보이네요. 귀찮더라도 무시하면 안 될 거예요. 날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
Floor 11 isn't that difficult. It's definitely the one floor that's you shouldn't ever struggle on, no matter what like specific floor you choose.
정의는 승리하는 것 아니었어? 어떤 거야?
날개를 펼치고
이러면
발톱을 걸어.
And a lot of that comes down to the fact that you just don't have a lot of debuffs just yet.
혈압도 바로.
And the enemy buffs before extreme mode just they don't really do a whole lot, to be honest.
적들이 흔들흔들.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
Frankly speaking, this is a completely free floor.
혈압도 바로.
All we can hope for, you know, the one good thing about this though is the fact that we didn't get any secret bosses yet, because you know, getting a secret boss on the first floor 11, it's nice, don't get me wrong,
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
but it's also way too easy. Because like I said, floor 11 is just free. There's no challenge to this. We've already won and we haven't done anything.
나라도 그랬을 거야.
혈압도 바로.
방금 어떻게 하신 거죠? 깜짝 놀랐어요.
옳다.
있잖아. 사실 도와서.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
이건 선택의 순간이
혈압도
필요하니까.
What else do I talk about here? I don't know. Maybe the fact that I kind of like Sinclair's Skill 3 dialogue. It just sounds nice, you know? I like it. That with combination of the
생각보다 움직임이 더 좋구나.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
with the just constant slashes of his attack. It's like it's very satisfying. He's got a very satisfying skill 3.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
혈압도 바로.
You know, one of the reasons I also took this floor specifically is because I like taking this floor because I lost to it once. And now every time I take it, it's basically just for vengeance, I'm gonna be honest. Like those stupid Wrath Pekatulim at the end of the fight. They're really scary. I don't think they'd be that scary with this identity. Maybe they would be. I don't know. Their counters are still pretty nasty, but as long as they can be staggered, they're not that bad. That was the reason why I lost to them before in my Queen of Hatred extreme mode run. Because I took them on floor 13 where it removed their stagger bar. Speaking of, I'm not sure if I'm going to take all of the adversities, specifically the sanity ones. I don't know. I don't really feel like they add any challenge. The sanity reduction, it just makes it really annoying. But then again, seeing like
혈연도
seeing the adversity score less than 50 is... I don't know, there's something bad about that I don't like.
날개를 펼치고
미리 훈련하길 잘했죠?
발톱을 걸어.
방금 공격은 좋았어.
I guess it's also pretty negligible anyways, like the 15 reduced sanity permanently.
혈연도 바로.
Yeah, it's annoying, sure, but it doesn't add any challenge, so it's perfectly fine to take.
혈연도 바로.
덕탄 우연히 자, 악당 퇴치 성공! 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into Who Can It Be Bloodfiends for the next floor, where we take these adversities and find the rusty commemorative coin, Eclipse of Scarlet Moths, and the rusted muzzle before making it to the boss.
위에서 당신을 관리자로 정한 데에는 합당한
Alright, Bloodfiends. And now they're actually doing some real damage. It's like this right here is one of the reasons why the what's it called again? The bloodflame sword? Yeah. It's one of the reasons why it's terrible, because it's like the 50% damage reduction is basically nothing, and we're missing out on
조심하시죠.
like over 200 health.
버리고 있다가
So it's like,
피가
I don't know.
끓는 쪼아먹힐 테니까. 날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
it's a decent ego gift, but it's not very good either,
대체들의 체력이 많이 깎여
especially in
나갔어.
extreme mode.
괴로워하는 게 느껴지지 않아? 이 기세로 계속 나아가 보자.
But I mean, I guess there's nothing you can really do about it. So it is what it is.
아마 다들 힘들어하고 있을 거야. 하지만 모든 직원은
Oh, that's not good.
다쳐서라도 최선을 다하고 있을 거라고 믿어.
Sinclair having his skill 2 in the first slot is actually bad here because, yeah, he definitely bleeds out before anything happens. So I have to use an ego here instead. I didn't want to do this, but he bleeds out if I don't, so kind of have to.
혈연도 바로.
힐이 든것 같아. 이 완벽한 공격이었어.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
도망치지 않으면
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
다른 사람들이랑 똑같았던 거야?
뭐라는 없으리.
그러면 내가
I suppose it's actually technically a good thing that we use an ego there. I mean, obviously it is. The extra attack weight makes it so that
이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
they just die early, but it is what it is.
적이 되어버렸나.
날개를
I'm gonna try and stall here, actually, if I can.
뭐라는 없으리. 더는 못 따라나.
We'll see. We'll see if I can. Glimpse of Flames and Thrill might make that impossible, but we'll try to stall. Yeah, we got an extra turn. Very nice. Normally that would be bad because it means that, you know, it makes it so that we lose the Clear Mirror Calm Water offense level because we didn't crit last turn, but we're only on floor 12 right now, so it's not entirely necessary just yet.
다른 신나 노래부를까?
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게
혈연도
하는
바로.
편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
혈연도 바로.
効果的な攻撃でした。
다음은 어디로?
한 번 휘두른 걸로 이렇게나? 완전 멋있는 걸?
Easy fight. Look at that. We don't even need the second revive.
그대에게는 다소 어려운 비유였는지.
혈염도 바로. 혈염도 바로.
나라도 그랬을 거야.
와,
혈염도 바로.
엄청난 공격이었어. 기념할 만한 걸.
잘 들어갔네요. 크게 의미 있는 건 아니지만
칼날이 잘 드네요. 아마 그 공격이 약점이었겠죠? 악당 퇴치 성공! 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into line 3 terminus for the next floor, where we take these adversities and find Sun Shower before making it to the boss.
나만 믿고 답에 집중해줘.
날개를 펼치고.
Alright, floor 3. One good thing about this guy is Sinclair does have unbreakable coins, but yeah, unbreakable coins don't matter when you take too much damage. Having an extra 50% damage reduction does literally nothing.
상황이 좋지 않네.
Hopefully this time we're actually able to do something.
톱을 걸어.
Thank you, Sinclair, for actually winning the clash. I appreciate it.
해냈구나. 나라도 그랬을 거야.
Hey, yeah, that's why you need a revive. Dying on turn 1 is almost a guarantee once you get to floor 13.
너희들의 사랑의 힘이, 빛의 힘이.
And dying again on turn 2 is very likely as well. Not as guaranteed, but as you can see there, I'm pretty sure that was the emergency investigator badge activating.
발톱을 걸어.
So if we die again, then we're dead.
혈염도 바로.
Fortunately, it's very likely that it won't happen a second time, or a third time, I should say.
보는 맛이 나는
So the rest of this fight should be perfectly fine.
편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
I hate this skill check. It's so stupid. Like, the only thing it does is basically staggers the pearl, right? But every time it activates for me, it's always when I've already staggered the pearl. So it does literally nothing except bad things. Because it reduces your sanity and stuff like that. So it's like, nice, very cool. Good skill check. Love that skill check.
까딱하면 지겠는걸.
Best skill check in the game, I'd say.
날개를 펼치고. 발톱을 걸어.
Ardor Blossom Moth is actually a good, one of the better fights to do with this identity, because even if you win clashes against it, it still inflicts you with a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but a little bit of burn. Like, as you can see, we have 1/2 burn count right now, which means our passive gets to activate more than just on the first turn of the fight. Very cool. We get even more damaged simply because we're fighting the Ardor Blossom Moth. Unfortunately, we are going to be
전투 경험으로서
running out of poise on this next turn, which kind of counters it out, like, a lot, but
조치였습니다.
even still. More burn is a good thing.
딱히 할 말은 없네요.
Yeah, just win rate. It's fine.
힘을 내.
The moth dies here anyways.
제게 그런 말을 바라지 않을 거잖아요.
ドクターのように優れた式ですね。
혈염도 바로.
방금
Actually, the moth dying there
이대로만
is
계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
pretty good, unironically, because
날개를 펼치고.
it makes it so that we keep more poise going into the spiral.
방금 공격
which means our damage cap is
영상으로
higher for longer.
우리 직원에게도 도움이 되겠네.
Not gonna last for very long though.
한방 먹였어.
I mean, it's pretty likely that the spiral will die before the poise stack does, so it's fine. I mean, we're almost hitting 10k with that attack, even though it's technically not AoE. Like, it's a single target AoE attack, and it's doing nearly 10,000 damage.
크게 의미 있는 성과는 아니지만요.
Yeah, look at that, very easy.
자, 악당 퇴치 성공.
Not hard at all.
오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into the new League of Nine for the next floor, where we take these adversities and find illusory hunt before making it to the boss.
이 기회에 평소 지휘 실력을 확인해 보죠, 따뜻해.
조심하시죠. 날개를 펼치고.
Don't you just love it when you don't get any secret bosses the entire run and it makes it 10 times harder because you don't get any coin power? Because I love it when that happens. It's very cool.
방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을
Why do they
텐데.
gotta be a random man? It's like the run's so much easier if you get a secret boss on the first
또 얼굴에
floor. It's not even funny.
11번. 최근엔 성장하긴 한 모양이군.
I mean, here we are in a position where it's like
혈염도 바로.
we could have like 2 or 3 extra coin power right now if we just got literally any secret boss
해냈구나.
before now. But no.
나라도 그랬을 거야.
No, we're getting 0 secret bosses the entire run. Not even a single one. Very cool.
얼간이들이 흥겨워하는
날개를 펼치고. 발톱을 걸어.
옳다.
혈염도 바로.
At the very least, this fight isn't that difficult. I mean, it does need, like, both revives. I doubt we'll be able to survive Ahab's attacks. So. Yeah, we needed it.
너무 아프게 맞았는데.
We needed even more. I think we were fatal to
나를 처리하지 못한
pride damage there, so.
날개를 펼치고. 발톱을 걸어.
덕타のように優れた式ですね。
혈염도 바로.
Alright, this time we get we're actually going to be able to survive because,
다음에 다른 게
yeah, we're using an ego to turn off that
상을 남기면
대어 남겨드리죠.
that pride weakness that we turned on by using the Tears of the Tarnished.
나무와 함께 대어 남겨드리죠.
Very cool.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
Ahab's still probably going to activate the revive, but she won't actually kill us this time.
당장
Very
퇴근시키지
good.
않으면 직원들이 죽을 수도 있어요.
And now we have a free win.
아무도 기억해주지 않을 텐데.
날개를 펼치고. 발톱을 걸어.
방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
판도는 유리하나 교만하면 뒤집어지는 법.
날개를 펼치고. 발톱을 걸어.
You know, one of the bad things about indiscriminate targeting AoE attacks, like the unfocused volley ones, is
혈염도 바로.
when you have multiple targets like this in this fight with Ahab and her crew, and you basically only want to attack one of them, in this case being Ahab herself. While the other ones are alive, it's like
아마 그 공격이
you do substantially less damage with that skill 3 because you can't exclusively target only Ahab, you know? It's just not something you're capable of doing.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
Because it has 3 attack weight and she only has like 2 skill slots. Sometimes 3, but most of the time it's like 2.
혈압도 바로.
And that makes it so that actually, you know, targeting only her is almost impossible, so it doesn't really matter because she's actually like untargetable most of the time in this fight anyways, so you have to defeat her cronies first anyways. But it's still something worth mentioning at the very least.
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어. 혈압도 바로.
But yeah, this fight shouldn't be too difficult. I mean,
오늘은 제압이 되겠어요.
any fight with sanity in the mirror dungeon is actually kind of easy for these final 2 floors, because you're going to pick up the
머리 좋다 단테. 방금 완전
what's it called, the
좋았어.
Midwinter Nightmare Ego Gift at some point, which effectively guarantees that whoever you're attacking is going to be at negative 45 sanity all the time, which means all of the coin power boosts do basically nothing.
적합한 관리법이었어요.
And it makes winning clashes incredibly easy.
혈압도 바로.
That coupled with the fact that we're actually doing a lot of just
공격은 매우 효과적이었어.
damage on our own.
아직 부족해. 다음 공격은 더 잘할 수 있어요.
Yeah, pretty much a free win. And then we have both
분명히
Glimpse of Flames and
이러면
we have both Glimpse of Flames and Thrill doing an extra 4,000 damage per turn. Very cool. I mean, look at this. We technically have 3
어디로?
조금씩 나아가고 있네요.
3 different status effects, being
계속 힘내주세요.
bleed, burn, and
날개를 펼치고.
okay, what was I saying? Right, we technically have 3 different status effects that we support here with bleed, burn, and rupture. Obviously, we're only a bleed and rupture or not bleed, a burn and rupture identity, but simply just having a wrath skill means that you're also bleed because wound cleric exists, and it gives you free bleed infliction if you have a wrath skill, so that's cool.
혈압도 바로.
It definitely makes it a lot easier because we have, like, you know, 3 different things giving us offense level
좋았던 것 같네.
all the time, constantly, forever, so
敵に対して
혈압도 바로.
yeah, pretty
打撃を与えました
pretty easy run, I'd say, all things considered.
혈압도 바로.
I know it's technically not over yet, but, like, the final floor you always take Bridal of Infinity, which is basically a free win, so
과거의 묵기 단단히 그르치지 마시게.
나도 최선을
내
다했어.
모두 터뜨리고
this might be scary.
왜 나의 노력을
So we'll just ignore it.
하는 거야?
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어.
If an enemy's attacking you with unbreakable coins,
혈압도 바로.
just say no. Don't clash against it and stagger them before they can use it. And you win. It's that easy. His name's Hugo, right? I think.
혈압도 바로.
I can't read it right now. The camera's too weird, but I think it is Hugo. Anyway, Hugo. No, Gubo. Sorry. Where did I get Hugo from? Anyway, Gubo. He's definitely the scarier of the 2 in this fight. But again, as long as you stagger him, it's fine. Like he can absolutely kill us right now because he has a specific skill that has a lot of unbreakable coins. I don't know, our attack rate might be screwing us over here. Yeah, I think I think your attack weight screwed us over here. Oh no. Wow. Can't believe we lost that. Like. Okay, yeah. So, last attempt, the reason we lost was actually because, specifically, the indiscriminate targeting of Bloodflame Massacre. Like, we needed to stagger Gubo before he could use his big unbreakable coin skill, but it just, the RNG didn't line up, and so our attack just didn't hit him enough times to stagger him. It hit everyone else. And so he didn't take enough damage. And I guess, yeah, that's the biggest downside to this type of attack, is if there is a massive target, like a huge threat, and there's a lot of different enemies, you kind of can't really use the skill 3 because it's just, the damage is inconsistent. Like, this one's actually a lot better because it's, you know, it's the friendly fire attack, which means, yeah, it's just a guaranteed kill, so it does nothing. So there's a chance we might not even have to deal with it at this point, so that's cool.
나라도 그렇게 했을 테지. 이만하면
혈압도 바로.
무얼 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이랬어.
His attack might be a little scary. I don't think it'll kill us though, which is the only thing that matters. So yeah, not that scary. It's just unbreakable coins, you know how it be. Any small amount of damage is scary in extreme mode.
관리법이었어요. 다행이에요.
혈압도 바로.
보세요, 관리자님. 다들 역경을 이겨내고.
It's a bit of a weird ending, but you know, it works.
오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어. 도움이 됐을까요? 내일도 꼭 불러주기야.
We head into Bridal of Infinity for the final floor, where we take these adversities before making it to the boss.
개체가 조금
Oh my god, finally.
날개를 펼치고.
Alright, we finally did it. I've been resetting for like 10 minutes. Just to get one of these robots to use a defense skill.
또 얼굴에
And so that I could roll good speed in order to be able to
질질 짜거나 주저
actually have good clash power.
날개를 펼치고. 발톱을 걸어.
That took way too long. I'm gonna be completely honest. Anyway. Yeah, this floor is basically a free win as soon as you are capable of beating the robots, or at least clashing with most of their things. They're gonna take a lot of damage here regardless. It's like unavoidable, but
옳다.
이 모든 상황에
날개를 펼치고. 발톱을 걸어.
what was I saying? I completely forgot. I wanted to say something.
혈압도 바로.
Right, yeah. So,
해냈구나.
the thing is,
나라 잘했을 거야.
we did get a secret boss. on this floor. The only problem is I really, really don't think it was a it was a one that I could actually win. And the reason why is actually quite simple, because the fight was Ricardo, right? And the problem with Ricardo is he has a lot of counter skills. And as you know, counter skills equal unavoidable damage. And with us, even with a 50% damage reduction, is like, he's still gonna take out our entire health bar like every single time he attacks. Like it's guaranteed. So it's like, I don't think Ricardo is possible with our current setup, especially with only having half of our health bar, because the 50% damage reduction does basically nothing this late into the game. The enemies do way too much damage. It's literally nothing we can do. Ricardo is too powerful to beat on floor 15 with this identity. So yeah, I just skipped him. If we got one of the others, I probably would have done them, but maybe not Lei Hang. I don't know about Lei Hang. I probably still would have done him anyways, but I don't know. Lei Hang's a bit weird. I might have skipped him too. But if we got the other two, I would have done it.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
Anyway, one of the reasons this floor specifically is so easy is because obviously the robots themselves are... I think this counts. I might hit him with an attack just to be safe, but anyway, the reason this floor is as easy as it is, like it's the easiest 15th floor you can pick, because you know, the robots, they're not that difficult to beat. They do a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of skills, you know? And that makes it fairly easy to get through this fight. You do pretty much use all of your... like, revives in this fight immediately, but it's fine. And the real reason why this floor is so easy is because of this fight right here, the shock centipede. Unfortunately, we might actually be kind of a little screwed over, because the reason the shock centipede is so easy is because he's got this gimmick where if you break his shield on the first turn, he gets staggered on the second. And with how much damage you do, because he's the second fight, it's incredibly easy to actually break his shield. But again, just like how with Gubo in the previous floor, how we died to him because of the indiscriminate targeting of our skill 3, it's like there's a chance we might actually not be able to break the shield here. I think it's pretty small, but yeah, there was a chance that if the targeting was really, really bad, the shield wouldn't have broken. Fortunately, that's not the case, so... Yep, shock centipede. Pretty easy fight. It literally cannot do any damage to you. Like, super... This is the easiest fight in the entirety of Extremo. Guaranteed. It literally does 0 damage.
운명의 기운이 공명하는 것 같아. 그 공격을 선택한 건 좋았던 것 같네.
And here we have my form empties. Kind of scary. Tiny bit. Not really, but there is some level of RNG involved here. Like, if we lose a lot of these clashes, there's a good chance that we just die.
혈압도 바로.
Like, my form empties onto the 15th floor. It's not a free win. It is certainly not a free win, and it's because of the clash power of the minions and also the minus 15 sanity we have. So it's like
혈압도 바로.
you can lose the clash. You already used the revives in the robot fight, so they can absolutely do enough damage to kill you here
그렇게 했을 테지.
if you get unlucky with your
이만
rolls.
훌륭하군.
Unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to happen for us, so.
차포잡이라. 예상한 것보다 움직임이 더 좋구나.
혈압도 바로.
유효하군.
제압 개체에게 큰 피해를 준 것 같아. 교육팀의 직원다운
We can probably just target down my form empties at this point. It's risky. It is risky, and that kind of makes me not want to do it, but I don't know. I feel like we can. I feel like we'll have enough damage. Like 10,000. Certainly we can do 10,000 damage, right?
날개를 펼치고.
Certainly we can do 10,000 damage. Yeah, easily we can do 10,000 damage.
알려준 대로 잘했어. 역시
혈압도 바로.
지는 건
That was a pretty easy run. Could have been impossible if I chose to fight Ricardo, but yep.
어떻게 하신
Extreme mode's not that bad if you know what you're doing.
정말 멋진 활약이었어.
가문일서 모이만 뿌려주신다면 저희 두 개는 주군께서 혐오하시는 그 어떤 벌레도 모래판에 남기지 않아요. 두 개의 쓸모는 증명했어요. 그러니 주군, 부디 저희가 회칠 다음 전장을.
And that's how I beat Mirror Dungeon 6 Extreme Mode using only Heishou You Sinclair. He's a pretty strong identity who is more than capable of pulling his own weight in almost any team he's in. The bloodflame sword ego gift, though, is definitely an interesting gimmick to say the least. I wouldn't say it's particularly good, but it's fun under the right circumstances. Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Goodbye!